Welcome to my blog.stampwithelaine.com and welcome to the third and final episode in my Beautiful You series. Today I'll show you a different way to stamp this dancing girl image. So without further ado, let's assemble our supplies. We need the Beautiful You stamp set. I've got mine in clear mount. It's also available in wood. The watercolour pencils, I've stored mine in a CD case. It doesn't come boxed like this, but I just found it more accessible to have it in this. I have a standard card base, 8 1/4 by 5 7/8. That's half an A4 sheet, scored at 4 1/8 with the long side on top and folded in half. In centimetres, that's 21 centimetres by 14.9 and scored at 10.5. You need an additional piece of pumpkin pie cut 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 square. That's 7.3 by 7.3 centimetres. Watercolour paper cut at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. That's 7 centimetres by 7 centimetres, and that's to lie on top of this piece. Half an A4 sheet in Daffodil Delight. Vellum cardstock, 3 by 1.5 inches, so that's 7.6 by 3.8 centimetres. Versamark ink, an embossing buddy, copper embossing powder and a heat tool, a wink of Stella, an aqua painter, the Sunburst Thinlits die in the annual catalogue, which you can find on page 193, Big Shot and a magnetic platform. Now let's get started. Now first thing to do is to cut your Sunburst with the Daffodil Delight cardstock. Bring in your magnetic platform, base cutting plate, cardstock, followed by the die with the cutting edge face down, top cutting plate, and I'm ready to run that through the Big Shot. I'll do that off camera. My Sunburst die cut, set that aside. I've mounted my dancing lady on an E-block and take the aqua painter and I'm just going to wet the stamp. Grey colouring pencil, and I'm just going to use the flat of my pencil to outline the edges. I don't want to do the lines inside her dress, just the hem of the skirt and the outside of the skirt, her leg, her arm, the body, her hair and hat and arm. Okay, then huff on it and stamp. So I'm just going to reference the lines and things whilst I'm colouring. It's going to wet the inside of her dress, wet the paper I mean. The colour pencils are numbered, so I'm going to be using 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is Real Red, Calypso Coral, Pumpkin Pie and Daffodil Delight. So I'm using the Calypso Coral for just under her arm for some skin tone, and just on her leg on the underside of her calf. I'm using the Real Red to create the darker bits of the crease in her shirt and the lines and shadows in her skirt. Now I'm going to use the aqua painter and just blend it and draw the ink or the watercolour towards the edges. Clean the pen, do her arms and skin tones. And if I want that more intense, I'll just lift a bit of ink from the lead of the pencil directly onto my brush, like so, and then blend this. Lastly, I use the Bermuda Bay just to put a bit of colour in this pool here and blend that into. Now I'm going to use the clear wink of Stella and just apply a bit of colour sparkle to the creases in her dress, not all over, just a little bit, and to her hat. Fast fuse on the back and mat it onto the pumpkin pie. Take my vellum cardstock, put the embossing buddy over it to prevent static. I'm using the sentiment, live with passion, laugh out loud, love deeply. Stamp it in Versamark. Copper embossing powder on top. Heat emboss. Snip the middle of the paper and then cut towards the centre to create a tab. Fast fuse on the end. Tombow glue. Trim off the excess bits. Position your label in the middle of the card, the vellum piece. Then pop that on top. Then you can put dimensionals on the back. Voila! There's your finished card. So it's just a different way of colouring. This is without the lines in the dress. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe or share on Facebook, and my grateful thanks if you do. If you're watching from YouTube, you'll find the list of supplies I use below this video in the Show More section, with direct links to my online store. They'll also be listed here on my blog at blog.stampwithelaine.com. You can find me on Pinterest, Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for joining me today, and next week I'll have something brand new to show you. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. Bye.